Hello, testing 1 2 3. Can you guys hear me on YouTube? Hello, testing 1 2 3. Okay, great. Yeah, we have 2 more minutes. Just wait a little bit for more people joining us. Thank you. Yeah, so just want to let you know that we have the event streaming on YouTube today. So yeah. Hello everyone. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I'm good. So thanks for asking. Okay. I will answer all the questions later. After um, after we finish the presentation, and yeah, and then you can ask all the questions that you want. So so basically today we're gonna talk about first of all we're gonna talk about how we're gonna like the current development situation of the game, and how far we go since the last time that we have the community meeting, and then after that we're gonna talk about how we're gonna change the fly model to become a more advanced fly models. Yeah, instead of rely on a very old fly model that we have since like 10 years ago. Yeah, so yeah, that's just gonna be the two topics that we're gonna talk today. Okay. Okay, now let's starting. Yeah. So first of all, talking about the game today. So so for this weekend we don't have the update because I've been working on redesign the missiles fly characteristic, and also we have all the smokes, and some of the lightings of the environment change as well. We redone all the smokes to make it more realistic and make them look better. Also, we're gonna have what else? The smoke, and yeah, a lot of little thing that we changed to make it uh, that make the game is more playable. For example, like you can spectate the different objects in the game. Like you can spectate the SAM, or and also we make the AI F1 1117 more visible as well, so that you can spectate the F1 117. Yeah, and we also make the night brighter, so that it is a little bit easier to play the game in at night at nighttime. Um, like nighttime in the game. So yeah, that's basically the list is pretty long. So that's basically what we have done this week. But we haven't got the release yet because at like the last minute we have to change the fly physics of the missiles, and hopefully it's gonna fix the problem of the SAM that you know it's been having we've been having problem with the SAM unable to fire missiles at some targets. Yeah, and then sometimes we change the code that so that the SAM doesn't shoot at target that it couldn't reach. So for example, if the like target is diving, and for some reason if you fire a missile at the target, the missile gonna fly straight to the ground. So the SAM now knows that it's gonna waste the missile, so it's not gonna fire. So yeah, a lot of little things like that to make the game more realistic to play. Yeah. Um, yeah, that is the some of the chance that, you're gonna see. You're gonna see the build next week. So yeah. Um, yeah. So that's basically the game. So for the blending for the game today, at this time, um, we have some changing in the plan, so that um, we're gonna spend some more time and focus on improve the flight models of the game before we adding more and more aircrafts, because as you add more aircraft, it make it harder to change some things. Yeah, so right now we have like 3 or 4 aircraft. It's easy to change, so it's better. So let's talk about the new fly models that we're gonna have. We're gonna integrate into Gunship 4. Okay, let me turn on the screen for the YouTube. All right. Okay, so as you know that Gunship 4 is developed using Unity. So for Unity, we have a pretty advanced flight models created by under the name of Cilantro Flight Simulator. So just a little bit information about the developer of this flight model. They are he is a mechanical engineer, and he very interested in flight and simulation. So he created this code for a lot of different aircrafts, and as you can see here, you can look around and see how the blueprints of these model is very detailed. It's come down to every single piece of the wings and elevator. So I think it's the fly models from this developer are gonna be very very good to use, and it developed in Unity as well, so it's pretty easy for us to integrate into Gunship 4. So just a little bit background about Gunship 4. So as you already know, that we developed Gunship 4 from the Gunship World War II, and originally from Gunship 3, and originally back in 2012, the first one was the glider game, the extreme glider. I forgot the name, but that's the first one, the first game that I make. So, and then together with the fly model at the time. So the fly models from Gunship 3 is very it's very simple, and but it's good enough for small devices like mobile devices, and it developed back in 2010 when the first iPad come out. So it's pretty it's simple, but it's enough to have fun, not too easy to fly. So you have like star characteristic and energy and all kind of different features from that fly models. And since then, the mobile devices have been developed and have been much more powerful. So now we will be able to integrate more advanced flight models like these these flight models. So it will make the game more easy to fly. But there's also some drawbacks, because it's more advanced, so it's gonna take a lot more CPU to run. So we have to do a lot of testing, integrate into the game and then test and to see like how it's gonna behaves, and also like how much CPU, how much energy it's gonna draw from your devices. So yeah, so we still need a lot of tests. And also, um, since in Gunship 3 and the World War II game, we use the same flight model for AI as well. So any AI aircrafts in the game use the same flight model as the players, because the flight model is pretty simple and easy to implement. So it doesn't take a lot of resources from the device. So yeah, so we use the same flight model. But since if we integrate, once we integrate with Cilantro, then we could keep using the original flight model from Gunship games, but seem like we will develop even more simple flight models for AI, so that we can scale more. So we can have a lot more AIs in the game without lacking, without a lot of lacking for for low end devices. So yeah, so that is the plan that we're gonna do. So we have the player aircraft have much more detailed flight model, but also we reduce the flight model of those AIs, because the AI doesn't care, how the aircraft fly. Is the goal of the AI is that it achieve the it fulfill the missing part of the game, right? The the ideal environment is that everyone is real person, real human flying aircrafts. All aircrafts in the game should be a human flying, but since we don't have we don't have that, so the role of the AI is just fill in the missing part. So as long as they could fly, and then follow waypoints, and also like fight and defend themselves and fight again, player aircraft. And then also we could adjust the difficulty of the AI, so that is good enough for us. Yeah, and then we have to make it very simple, and then short code, so that we could run like 20 or 10 or 20 different AIs in the game. So yeah, that is the way that make the games become more playable. Yeah, so just a quick look around of the manual of Cilantro, so you can see that all the details. Okay, so these are just all the comments. Yeah, if you go to YouTube, if you search Cilantro Flight Simulator, you can see a lot of videos about. They have very detailed engine simulation. Like all kind of different temperatures, and yeah, and also a lot of different aircrafts, all kind of aircrafts. So just a little bit talking about like nowadays you have some computer skills, a little bit of programming skill, you could create your own flight simulator pretty easy, and just make a a basic flight, and shooting or something like that is easy. But it's not all about flight simulator. The hard part is the details and the environments surround the flight simulator, and also the missions, and also like how you integrate, how you make it run on smaller devices, like mobile devices, how you calibrate the input. So those take a lot of times to do. Yeah. So but if you just want to make a good flying games, just flying around, and it's pretty easy nowadays. So anyone could learn and do it. It's not something very special nowadays. So yeah, another advantage of using Cilantro is that he also provide helicopters. Okay, let me take a look at the stream a little bit to see. Yeah, everything is good. Okay. Yeah, so for helicopters, Cilantro also provide all the physics for helicopter as well, and he does have a mobile version as well. So so the code run on mobiles, so it's not too heavy for mobile devices, but which once Final Tech use this code, and we're gonna optimize and make it even more faster to run. Yeah, so you can see here all the flight models is detailed down all the way down to every part of the rotors and engines, and yeah, so it must be a very good feeling to fly all these helicopters. You can see here. I don't know if people on Discord could see. Okay. Yeah, like even like small stuff like the fin of the helicopters are also models in detail. So yeah, it's gonna make the game feel really good, and I think it will feel more like even though it's not at the level of detail like JSB Sim, but as for a mobile games, this is like more than enough. Yeah. So helicopters as well, and we're gonna contact the developer of this package, and then ask him about anything that he can help, or anything that we can buy from them. Have them collaborate with us. Yeah, so to help us develop aircrafts. And also, if we use this in the future, third party developer could also develop aircraft for the game as well. So because Cilantro is a public, like with your $50, you can buy this package and create your aircraft, and then if GS4 Gunship 4 integrated with this, then you could easily put that aircraft into the game and see how it's fly. Yeah, so there's a lot of advantage for using a public fly models. Yeah, it's a public accessible. Yeah, you can see like in this image how detailed the aircraft is. I'm not sure if it's gonna run. I'm not gonna guarantee it's gonna run well, but if it's too heavy, then we have to reduce the amount of detail. Like for example, like you have a 5 or 6 different wing airfoil coat right here. Then you can reduce and make it like 4 or 2 or something like that. It's gonna make the fly a little bit less dynamics, but it's more playable on a mobile device. Yeah. Okay. So like he have like a lot of helicopters, attack helicopters, and all kind of stuff. Yeah, it's very awesome. It's an awesome package. Okay, yeah. So that's it for today. Now I'm gonna take questions. First of all, on Discord, and let's see. I want to see like everyone like to ask questions. Kirby, do you want to talk, or do you want to ask any questions? Okay. Okay. The first question is, when is F-16 or F-14? Okay. Actually, yeah, I forgot about one thing about integrating Cilantro into Gunship 4 is that the aircraft that Cilantro provide in the package right now is the F-16 flight model. So so before we didn't plan to create the F-16 this early, but since the flight model already made for the F-16, so we're gonna create the alpha prototype of the F-16 in the next like 1 or 2 weeks with the new cilantro fly models, so that like we don't have to mess around with trying to recreate a fly model for F-15 or a MiG-29. It's gonna mm, take some time, so the quickest ways is check the fly model already exists in cilantro, which is the F-16, and then integrate into Gunship 4 with the models, the graphics model of the F-16 that we already have with the cockpit and everything. Yeah, so it's gonna be very basic, just like the F-18 that you see last time. Yeah, right. So it's just you have the HUD, and you can take off landing with the air-to-air missiles, and yeah, and then we're gonna fill out all the detail later, and just want to see how the fly model is gonna behave in the Gunship 4 environment, and see how much resources it's gonna use. Yeah. So as you know, the game is still in development time, so it's we still have to try out a lot of things, working well or not working, and then we're gonna tone it down, reduce the complexity and to make it work better. And it's a lot of thing or features that we have in the game. It's not gonna work right away. It may be half working, half broken or something like that, but we need that into the game first, and then later on, as we at the process of development, we're gonna improve it over time. But if we don't have it in the game, then it never happen. So yeah, so that's the first question. Okay, so the second question is the F-14. F-14 it's kind of a more complicated aircraft with the two-seater, so we gonna we temporarily just leave it on the side a little bit, and also is the wings various wings aspect ratio, yeah. So and also now we gonna integrate with the new fly model, so it's we have to see how the new fly model working first, and then once we are more familiar with it, then we will have to integrate in the we're gonna have more aircraft with the new fly models, instead of keep developing the old fly models. It's gonna waste of time, and if later on we have to throw it away. Yeah. How the two-seaters like the F-14 would like, it's gonna be very similar to what you see in the World War II games, that you can switch between the front pilot to the gunner. So instead of the gunner, you're gonna switch to the back seat, so you can see the radar. That is for single player. For future update, more advanced features like co-pilot with other players. So other players gonna like open the menu that gonna show all the available seat of other aircrafts, and then he can select whichever he want to join, and then you could let him in, or you could kick him out. So the owner of the layer of the aircrafts have the right to let people get in his aircraft, or or maybe disable it at all. Yeah. So the player who are co-pilot with the owner of the aircraft could do something like control the radar, or control some of the equipment, some of the switches in the cockpit, like turn on lights or something like that. But and then later on, we're gonna have like more advanced features. So the question is, could the co-pilot fly the aircrafts? Until now, we don't know yet, because it seemed like a problem, because they're gonna be like network lacking between the connections. So I think it's gonna be a problem if we try to fly the aircraft over the network. And so for now, we all we do is just let the owner of aircraft fly his own aircraft, and then the other person is gonna come and help him, control radars and all that stuff. Like another pair of eyes, help looking out for aircrafts and like you enemies or anything. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's just the second question. The Yes, we will have the CCIP gunsight implemented into the game for all the A10, the A10 and F15 and F18. It's just a radar gunsight. Some of the future, but don't expect don't expect that we're gonna have all the features of the HUD of the F16 or something like that. It's gonna be a simple down version of it, and so that it could easily used and understand by people playing the game. So I'm not a fan of go all the way into the detail, because you have to think about it. You either choose between a very detailed aircraft functions like DCS, or you want to scale the scale of the game, like IO2 1944 or something games. Like we can have like a lot of different aircrafts, and the whole theater with tanks and SAM and anything. So yeah, we don't want to. We're gonna be something at the middle of DCS and IO2, but like more on the side of the more approachable flight sim than all the detail. The reason is I have DCS and I have all the joystick, pedals and everything I could play, but for me it take a long time for me to get into the game. Like you have to plan ahead, to the game, like DCS. So and then its loading time is even you have a good computer, it take a while for you to load the aircraft and all that stuff. So I'm more a fan of more simple games like you have like 15 minutes at night, you want to fly the F-117, drop bombs and go back to the base, and that's for just like 15-20 minutes before you go sleep or something like that. And then it's more approachable for mobile, something like that on mobile devices. Yeah. And maybe a VR, you can put on a VR headset, jump into Gunship 4, do a missions and done. Yeah, so you don't need to like set up turn on your computer, and then for some reason your joystick doesn't work. You have to remap the key or something. Yeah, it's too complicated. So yeah. Another question is landing system iOS integrated into our landing. For now, we don't need it. Because we don't have bad environment in the game, so anyone could land the aircrafts. But maybe later on we can have a simple iOS on the HUD that you can help. It could help you land the aircrafts, or on the carrier. Right now, we don't have the plan for the F-15E yet, because we don't have the model yet. We don't have the cockpit yet. So the F-14, we already have the cockpit. So we're probably gonna do the F-14 before the F-15E. Yeah, and then so keep in mind that it's gonna take a while for us to develop the game. So 1 or 2 years before everything, we can have like cram everything in one in the same time, because it's a lot of work, and these game is not something easy to make. Yeah. Let me check YouTube to see if anyone have question on YouTube. Okay, let me see. The game is still in early access. There's no release yet, so the only way you can get the game is going to gunship4.com and pay for the early access, and then you can download the game through test flight on iOS or Google Play. Yeah. Okay. Can you choose the level of skill that the AI will have? Yes. Yeah. That is the main purpose of AI aircraft, so that we can have like multiple skill setting. Um, you overall you could select the skill of the AI, but to make the game more interesting, the game also like create a random based on what you select. It's gonna create a random a little bit random skill level, so that it's different a little bit, so that it's not too predictable all the time. So yeah, so sometimes you're gonna face a MiG 29 that very very not very responsive to the threat, and then you could shoot it out very easily. But sometimes if you're gonna hit with a MiG 29 that it's gonna kill you instantly. So yeah, so that's of the one of the feature of the game. Yes. Will there be a way to take photos like a free camera? I don't know what you mean, but right now we have the spectator spectate mode in the game, that you can look at other players. That's one way to. We're gonna improve the spectate mode as well, so you can have a selection between want to see ground targets, or you want to see aircrafts, enemies or friendly. Yeah, so it's kind of easier to look at all the aircraft instead of right now you just move forward, spin around in spectator mode. And and in the future we're gonna have something like auto cinema mode, which means the spectator gonna automatically switch between different aircraft based on the events of the game. So uh, for example, like someone shoot a missiles, and it's gonna switch to that that aircraft, the scene of that aircraft when you firing the missiles, and then after like 5 seconds it's gonna switch into the view of the missiles that flying into target. And then just about like 5 seconds it hitting the target, it's gonna switch to the view of the target itself, and then you can see the missile hit the target and explode. Yeah. So that is the idea of like auto spectate mode, so that if you have two devices, you could have one device put in the spectate mode and then let it run auto, and put a recording on that device, and then on the other hand you could fly your aircraft. And after you're done with the missions, you can have two videos. One videos with the outside view of all the events, and then one videos with you flying inside the cockpit. Yeah, so then you can use that for YouTube or anything. So is it gonna useful for us as well, because we're gonna use that to create content and to promote the game. Yeah. So another idea above that, like even like more advanced from that, is that we're gonna create a camera, a recording camera inside the game, so that in the same device you could have the game recording the spectate mode, and also you could still play the game inside the cockpit. So you don't need you don't need to have two devices to do that. So everything gotta be in one devices. We already see some of the third party developer have the package that could do that on a mobile device, but we could imagine that it's gonna be a little bit heavy on mobile devices. So you may need a very fast phone, or the M1 iPad or something like that to do that. But it's possible. So yeah, you could. And also, you could move that camera around, like a GoPro inside the game, so that you could put it inside the cockpit, or on the wings of the aircrafts or something like that. Similar to what we see in Vito VR, that they have that kind of camera. Yeah. So, and also it's gonna be very useful for VR player as well. So for VR player, because you have your head and your hands, right? So you could use that to record yourself. Yeah. So okay, so let me go down another for more questions. On this score, we have free camera mode and replay mode in the game. For replay, like similar to DCS, I think it a little bit too complicated to create that the features, because imagine if for recording the gameplay, I mean the gameplay itself is, you have to record like the position of every aircraft, and then every missile fire you have to record, and pretty much like all the events you have to be recorded inside, in the device, and then later on when you rerun you're gonna populate all the objects back. It's possible to do, but it's quite complicated, and I think it's gonna be hard to make it work right. Instead of that, we're gonna, like I mentioned before, we're gonna create the camera, the recording camera that actually gonna go and record the event for you, so that you can have the videos to use later. Yeah. The replay system is a very cumbersome to do. So maybe in the maybe when the game become mature, and then we will look into that. But for now, it's not really a need. Gonna be single player mode in, like, consider, yes, will be single player mode, and an instant dogfight that you could just fly straight to the AI. The reason is it's kind of important to have that feature, because especially for testing, right now, we want to test a new missile code. We have to recreate a situation so that we can fire the missile at the AI, right? So we can see how the missile behaves. So yeah, so we will have that feature pretty early on. At first, it's going to be very simple, like something like for you to do aerial refuel. Just spawn the AI and then spawn yourself behind it. So for us, it's for testing the refueling procedure, but for player, it could be used for training. Yeah. Okay, let me go to YouTube and see any question there. Will multi-crew be in the game? Yes, it's gonna be multi-crew. Even though I think it's gonna be in more like 2025 time frame, but it will be multi-crew. Any update on MetaQuest VR? What we're planning right now is make the mobile become like more playable first, and be more complete for the target of releasing the game. The first version released in December this year. So we are gonna be in 2025 time frame. The reason is that VR development, the VR is a new industry, so everything is moving very fast. So uh, if we do something on VR today, next month there's another like different way to do thing on VR. So it could be obsolete very quickly, and then there's so many chances, and it could break the game as well. Maybe this month we it working with next month. MetaQuest gonna change something. They have a new package of the developer package, and then we have to fix again. So we would like to wait a little bit for the platform to develop more, so that it's also like it's become easier for develop as well. Like if you look at Unity 6, they have like more integrated way for you to develop game on mobiles. I mean on VR, and it's a lot easier, a lot more features, and a lot of things that before we have to create by ourselves. Now they have it inside the package, so it's better to wait a little bit, um, for VR platform to be more mature, and then we could just move the content into VR with the latest and the newest code. That so it could expand in the future. So if we do it now, we're gonna use the old code that we use in the World War II VR, and as you know, and then later on, if we want to upgrade that, we couldn't. So because it's since like it's 2 years old, but for VR it's very obsolete. Yeah. The GS4 demo, yeah, it does is the old one. It's a lot of changes since the release since early this year. So there's some improvement on the sound system. I mean the sound effects in GS4 and Gunship 4. So I think it's a little bit better now, but yeah, but over time we will improve it. As I mentioned, we need, at first we need, to have the feature first, even though it's not working perfectly. It may sound weird or something, but it need to be in there first, and then later on we improve it. Yeah. So harm missiles, yes, there will be harm missiles in the game. It's how it's gonna be integrated into the game is, I think it's pretty easy. It's pretty much working just like the Maverick, the AGM 65, but instead of you look at the target through the TV screen, right? All you need to do is waiting for a lock from the SAM radar, or hearing the tone from the RWR, and then just fire the missiles straight into that SAM, and then it's gonna follow the signal down to the radar itself. Yeah. So it's pretty simple to use. Okay. Another question here is, oh, is this Gunship what to get update? Right now, we pretty busy with Gunship 4. There's a lot of work need to be done. So what to maybe we're gonna have an update when we have the release on Gunship 4, and then maybe we're gonna spend like 1 or 2 months to improve Gunship. What to there's still a lot of content that we still have. We still have a lot of tanks models that we could integrate into the World War II game. And also there's a map inside World War II that we could improve, and create more scenario. You can something like you can spawn at the tank, like as a M4 at the Normandy beach, and capture some point. Yeah, so it's still a lot of contents available for that game as well. The thing is, we don't have time for it now. Yeah, and also like for the what choose game, what else? We don't have many more aircrafts, but we have a lot of tanks to integrate. Also, yeah, since we developed Gunship 4, we discovered a lot of way to optimize the game. So and also the AI model. So maybe when we come back to what two game, we could improve the code so that it could have like more bigger like the scale for like you can have like more AI into the game or more players inside the same room. Yeah, so there's already another upcoming World War II game. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that interview with the guy who and the team create combat pilot, and yeah, it looked good. Even though like for the demo that I saw at the Flight Sim Expo, um, there were not much to be seen though. It's just aircraft flying. It's as I mentioned before, it's pretty easy nowadays to create just a flying experience. If I don't know if you guys know about the Antoinette project or something like that, which you have the JSP Sim create a package so that you can download into Unreal Engine 5, Unreal 5, and then with some models, and because Unreal Engine 5 already have all the environment, everything, the atmosphere, the earth and everything, and then you could just play like in 1 or 2 days you could create a flying game with a realistic fly model. Yeah. But I hope that we're gonna see more from Combat Pilot. Some more detail about how the gameplay and things. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So that's pretty much. Somebody asking about adding map and aircraft for what two game, right? Yeah, we don't have more map or anything. Only aircrafts. All we still have is tanks and improve some of the map, gameplay, and maybe add more campaign into the game. Yeah. Like like the offline campaign mode. Right now we have only one campaign, right? The Hamburg, but we can have a Normandy campaign. We still have 1 or 2 aircraft could be integrated, like the C-47. Before we have landing, like you can carry troop into battle. Like drop parachute bird at Normandy, and then fly something like that. Yeah. But we will need some time to work on that too as well. Back to Discord, somebody say that the F-14 already implemented in cilantro. Well, for one information for you is that the videos that he showed up here is not a models that he's he made available for sales on the Unity Access Store. So this is just a show that the code could do this, but either we're gonna contact him and ask him if he willing to sell us the model that he already create, or we can just look at video and then try to recreate the same aircraft. But again, it's not easy as you think. It's a lot of time. Creating aircraft for now, if we use the existing fly model that we have in Gunship 4, it seems like it takes us 2 weeks to create the F-18. the first week is pretty much just put the model in and connect everything and test to see it flying, if it could fly, landing, take off, flaps working on that stuff. And then the second week is like tuning, refining all the problem, small problem, bugs, and integrate the weapon system, and then integrate the HUD. The maybe we just use the HUD from different aircraft, just to put it there. And then that is 2 weeks for an alpha development of one aircraft. And then after that, then we're gonna um, add more details. Something like we have to read the manual to see what's the function, how they connect the hydraulics into the aircrafts. And so each aircraft take a long time. And then one thing that now we really well, after the 1.5 years into Gunship 4, we just realized that it's way difficult compared to World War II games. For modern aircrafts, it's way difficult, way more difficult than developing World War II aircraft. World War II aircrafts, pretty much you have the engine, right? You have guns, and then some bombs, some hard point to to mount bombs, and pretty much the rest of it is pretty much the same for all. Either Japanese or Germans, different in the engines, horsepower, but there's no HUD to worry about. There's no swept wings, all the feature, air brakes, and so that's now I understand why we have a lot of flight sim for World War II. But for modern aircraft, it's just only DCS, or maybe something else that I don't know. But but for 2 weeks is for using the flight model that we have in the game right now. The original Gunship 4 flight model, Gunship flight models. But with the newer models, it may take more, so maybe 3 weeks or something like that. But if you look at the development time of Gunship 4 and compare to other developer, you will see that it's actually a lot faster. Like for example, if we're talking about I viewed the interview as of combat pilot, right? The guys landing for first 5 years is just the basic gameplay, and then the next 10 years like expanding the game, more maps and everything like that. So he's talking about like 15 years development of a combat pilot, and then like 20 years time frame, because until now we pretty realized that the life of a combat flight sim is pretty long. So it's 20 years. The people to play IL2, right? So 1 year since announcement for combat pilot, right? 1 year from announcement, and they say like I think they have like 5 core developer, and then total is 10 or 15. That's a lot of people. And then but for myself, I think it should show more development instead of just some basic flying aircraft around. Maybe showing maybe the cockpit or something like that. But for 5 people working for 1 year, that's not a lot of content. But I don't know. That's just my expectation. I don't know. Maybe they spend a lot of time create detail models or something like that. I don't know. But it take a lot of time still. So if Gunship 4 is a World War II game, or maybe like 1950 jets, like the Korea time period game, it probably already in production after like 1.5 years. But until now we still in development, because it's radar and heat-seeking missiles, air to ground, missiles or laser guided. Everything is complicated for modern aircraft. Yeah, so like every aircraft itself is a game itself. So yeah, someone say that a lot of people don't know how to play Gunship 4. That's normal. Yeah, we don't expect everyone know how to play a flight sim. Flight sim is a very um, small and dedicated sector in gaming industry. So people that who born with the passion of aircrafts, they will spend a lot of time to learn. Yeah, but um, yeah, we don't expect create something easy to play. If we create something easy for everyone to play, then it's gonna become something very boring. Something similar like very arcadey game. Just push left and right and then shooting endlessly or something like that. It's yeah. The point of flight sim is you learn how to fly, so it's hard. That's the nature of it. But since for the last 10, 13 years in this business, what we saw is that people were learning pretty quickly. And then, like for the World War II, a lot of people, like, if I go inside, if I go into World War II gameplay, World War II, and I play, I gonna be shot down by other people easily. 'Cause they become pretty good. So people are learning, a lot faster than we think. Gunship 3 Korea should be worked on for like a month once you get a good progress. Once we get, yeah, it for Gunship 4 is not only the game itself, but also it's developed a new platform for us to develop more games. So later on, once we pretty much complete with this game, we could develop any game after that using cilantro fly model and the environment that we develop with Gunship 4. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot easier, and then the game become more modern because the old game Gunship 3 World War 2 is, imagine, it was designed for the first iPad. That's it, like it way slower than what you see right now on the market, right? So everything is very simple, but it's still like people still have a lot of fun with that game, and then people still play Gunship 3 now, and it's still a lot of fun. It's for me, flight sim is not only just the fly models of the aircraft. Now you can do that very easily, but the environment that you create, the community, and then what kind of operation that you can join with other people, that is the more difficult aspect of game development. It's not all about fly models. Once we have the environment, we could integrate any fly models that we want. Of course, like, you need to optimize the code and make it working. And yeah, okay. Yeah, 3 minutes. 3 minutes from 10 o'clock. Let's see. Let me go back to YouTube and see anything, any question that I could answer. Can we play it on the computer? When will next Gunship sequel update come out? Someone, yeah. Just review the live stream on the stream, and you can get the answer. What will be the next update? You mean for Gunship 4, right? What will be the next update for Gunship 4? I did mention that at the beginning of the stream. So after the event today, so yeah, just go back and look at it. Yeah, for Gunship 4, I did talk about the roadmap for the next couple of weeks at the beginning. also for what two, I did also talk about it just about like 10 minutes ago. So yeah, and I just don't want to repeat myself. Yeah. Okay, so for the last 2 minutes, let's see. Anything adding AI to the server or campaign so that people are okay. Yeah, we will have the AI, and as I mentioned before, it's important for us to test the mechanic of the game without have to wait for other people to join or something like that. So we soon have AI. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so the last 1 minute, just want to talk quickly about game development and yeah. For Flight Sim, so far, not there are not a lot of developer around to develop this category. So it's very hard to to find people working on this industry. So um, so beside talking about the development of Gunship 4 or anything related to Gunship game, Final Text game, we're gonna talk about more about sometime I'm gonna make posts about how you how someone could learn to become a developer. What is the where's to start to learn programming. Of course, you need some knowledge about computer programming, and but you could learn. There's no school that teach you to do flight sim. As I know of. For myself, for me, it's a self-learning experience, and I learned by create a game, and then learn from the mistake of creating it. So uh, you know, so eventually I'm gonna share more and more information about how to learn. So anyone who interested in developing games, flight sim, then they could learn, and maybe it's overall it's gonna be good for the industry, and maybe they later on they could help develop Gunship game as well. Yeah. So yes, that's a plan. Yeah. So thanks guys for joining us today, and have a nice weekend. And hopefully, we're gonna have the update. If once I finish with the missile, I'm gonna send out the updates next week. So I don't need to be waiting to the weekends, because yeah, because that's the only thing that is holding off right now. Okay, guys, thanks for joining us, and have a nice Sunday. If you still Sunday. Okay, thanks for joining. All right, see you guys next time.